All right, we're going to get started. This has been an unusual semester. Dr. Fafi retired. So we have reinvented CAPSTONE, right? Yeah, sure we have. So this is our first CAPSTONE presentation of the year. I think we have several alumni in the room. If you're an alumni, could you stand up? Yes. I meant from the School of Business. Okay, that's good. Thank you for being here. And then we have a couple of family members. I know Michaela's mom is here. The Burkharts are here, Brendan's family, and who are you? Oh yeah, his fiance is here. What day is the wedding?
August 10th.
August, how many days away is that, Brendan? 119. Good job, buddy. Yeah.
Is that the accountant's question of the day?
All right. So here's what we're going to do. The students will give you about a 15-minute presentation, and then we're going to go through 35 minutes of question and answer. For those of you in the room who don't know who this gentleman is over here, this is Matt Mothy. He's one of our advisors, our Business Advisory Council. Happens to be the CEO over at Marquardt. And he has graciously offered to sit through all 4 of the presentations. So you might want to be praying for him, specifically for his schedule. He's a pretty busy guy. And we're very thrilled that he's willing to do this and support our students this way. He also has been very supportive in allowing some of our students to work over at Marquardt. So we're very, very grateful for their support. All right, we're going to pray, and then we'll let Jessica and her team present their portfolio or their project to us. Let's pray. Father, we are so grateful for the day. We are so grateful for your grace that you have given to us through the Lord Jesus Christ. Father, we're thankful for these students. And Lord, we know that they're nervous, but Lord, they have worked so hard this semester. And we pray that you might reward their diligence. Father, give them your grace even this morning. Calm their hearts. Help them, Lord, to say those things that are consistent with their project in a way that would be pleasing to you. Give them confidence as they answer these questions. And Father, I just pray that this might be a time that they can remember all the hard work that they've put into their education. And might you be glorified through all of it in Jesus' name. Amen. Jessica, you are up.
I want you to think back to a time when you were a kid. Do you ever remember smelling the aroma of freshly baked cookies right as they came out of the oven? I'm not sure how it was for you guys, but my mom was constantly baking. Whenever she made cookies, she always let us have fresh cookies right out they come out of the oven. But honestly, my favorite part was getting to lick the dough out of the bowl. You can see up on the screen, that's actually a little picture of me as a baby, probably not even a year old yet, but she started us off pretty early. As a kid, I remember sneaking into the kitchen and stealing a handful of cookie dough and then running upstairs and sharing it with my sister. For the record, you can't actually steal cookies from the cookie jar if they don't make it to the cookie jar. When I was 16, I got my first job at a coffee shop and I absolutely loved it there. I loved the environment, the people, and most importantly, I loved the coffee. I decided, as my dream became to one day open a coffee shop / bakery that I can combine the passion that I have for baking and then the enjoyment I receive from working in a coffee shop. Good morning, my name is Jessica Christensen, and today, with the help of my teammates, we are going to present to you the Elkhorn, this dream becoming a reality, and why you should invest in our business. The Elkhorn is a cookie shop located in Helena, Montana that serves cookies, cookie dough, donuts, ice cream, coffee, and other assorted drinks. With the cookies, donuts, and ice cream, we will have the classic traditional flavors such as chocolate chip cookie dough, maple bars, and old-fashioned vanilla ice cream. We will also offer unique flavor combinations centered around seasonal favorites unique to Helena, such as huckleberries and cherries. So we will offer things such as chocolate cherry cookies, huckleberry bear claws, and my personal favorite, huckleberry ice cream. Along with our cookies and donuts, customers can order things such as coffee, tea, lemonade, cider, and many more options. Coffee drinks offered will include specialty coffees such as mochas and lattes, but for the non-coffee drinkers, as crazy as they are, We do offer a wide variety of drinks, including teas, lemonades, and featuring huckleberry Italian sodas. The highlight of the Elkhorn's product offering is the cookie dough. We offer two main types of cookie dough. The first is edible cookie dough. Edible cookie dough has been growing in popularity recently. When the eggs are removed from the cookie dough, it becomes safe to eat. Our customers can order the cookie dough in various flavors, which comes in a little bowl with a little spoon. My teammates now are going to hand out to you a sample of what our chocolate chip cookie dough would be like for you to test. The second type of cookie dough that we have is the take and bake cookie dough. This is not safe for people to eat because it does have eggs in it. Eggs are a necessary ingredient for cookies, so to help them rise as they cook in the oven. Customers can purchase this dough in different sizes depending on their particular needs. They can bake it right away or they can freeze it for later. I mentioned earlier that the Elkhorn is located in Helena, Montana. Helena is the capital located in southwestern Montana. It has a rich culture centered around its history and the many outdoor activities offered there. I've lived in Helena for almost 10 years and I absolutely love it. It's not necessarily a small town, but it most definitely feels that way. The majority of the people actually live outside of city limits, making the actual town itself feel fairly small. Up on the screen, you can see a map of Helena with several of the main attractions highlighted, including our location, the state capitol, the regional airport, and the golf course. South of Helena is located the Elkhorn Mountain Range, providing us the inspiration with our business name. I got the idea also to take the name from a bill sitting on our kitchen counter one day because the name of our road is the Elkhorn. The location of the Elkhorn is 1530 Prospect Avenue, which connects Interstate 15 with Highway 12. Prospect Avenue is one of the main routes leading into town and towards the Capitol and many of the downtown shops and local businesses. This location is ideal for people who are traveling into work in the morning who want a quick cup of coffee and a good treat. This spot is also close to one of the colleges and one of the high schools in town. The building has a main level and a basement. The main level will contain the front of the shop, such as the service counter, the kitchen, a mural of an elk, and some seating for customers. This is a large open space, allowing for ample room for customers to walk around and purchase their goods without feeling crowded or clustered. The basement is also a wide open seating area with seating that includes couches and tables, allowing for people to work in a quieter area. There's also a meeting room in the basement, providing businesses and professionals a place to meet with employees or clients where they can have a private space and get some coffee and donuts or cookies to go with it. In order to be a successful business, we understand that we need more than a great location, great products, or even a good building. We have to have a vision of what we want to accomplish through our business. Our mission is the Elkhorn seeks to build quality relationships by providing superior products, unique flavor combinations, friendly customer service, and a great environment. The Elkhorn seeks to fulfill our mission through everyday operations and our interactions with customers. We never want a customer to leave unsatisfied or frustrated with the order or their experience. We believe that through our products and services, we can brighten the everyday lives of our customers. Customers are foundational to our business, and we want to put our customers first. According to Orison Swett Martin, the golden rule for every businessman is this: put yourself in your customer's place. In order to accomplish this mission, the Elkhorn's initial team consists of 6 individuals, including myself, who are passionate about sharing our mission with the people of Helena. I will be filling the role of the Elkhorn's president. Mr. Brendan Burkhart will be our VP of Finance. Mr. Jonathan Book will be our VP of Marketing. Ms. Michaela McDonald will be our VP of Operations. Mr. Austin Campbell will be the General Manager, and Mr. Matthew Tell is our silent partner. Each of these individuals brings a unique skill set and experience to the company that will prove vital in seeing the business succeed.
The Elkhorn holds to 5 values that will aid in the success of the company. The first of these values is the accessibility of our business. The Elkhorn is in a prime location just off of a main road that leads to a college and the state capitol. Additionally, the Elkhorn is on the right side of the road, which enables customers to enter and leave with ease. We'll have a website and social media accounts that enable customers easy access to our business to gain information as well as place orders and ask questions on the website. Along with accessibility, the Elkhorn offers convenience. From the location to the menu items to the building layout, our company strives for the greatest convenience to the customer. Our delivery service, meeting room, Wi-Fi, and seating arrangements allow comfort and convenience for those looking for a place to relax, socialize, work, or anything in between. The Elkhorn's third value is the unique customization that we offer to our customers. Not only do we offer a large variety of cookies and other products, but customers are able to customize various products to their unique preferences. The Elkhorn's fourth value is innovation. We offer a combination of products that no other business in the area provides, such as cookie dough, cookies, coffee, ice cream, donuts, and more. And this is all from just one store. The innovation of our business is unlike one that customers have ever experienced before. Lastly, the quality of the Elkhorn's products and services will be superior. We strive to offer the greatest customer service, quality products, and an unforgettable experience. Our company believes in quality, and it is just one aspect of our business that makes us better than our competition. These 5 values of accessibility, convenience, customization, innovation, and quality are what will set us apart and make our business successful.
Throughout the development of our business, in alignment with our mission and our 5 values, we believe that our predicted opening year sales and our projections are in line with what we stand for. The Elkhorn values the relationship with the customer and seeks to offer our products at an affordable yet realistic price. Whether it's a dessert stop after a nice night in Helena with the family for our edible cookie dough, or even a quick stop in the morning for a donut and a cup of coffee, we want to deliver our promise of delivering superior products. In researching the various coffee shops and bakeries in the surrounding areas of Helena, Vice President of Marketing Jonathan Book and myself determined that we would set our prices slightly lower than our competitors in the area in an effort to get our foot in the competitive market of the various cookie, bakery, and pastry shops. In understanding that this is a very heavily saturated market, we have accepted that the first few years of operation may result in a loss. However, we are confident once we establish our foothold in the market, we can be a shop that establishes a brand that people will continue to come back to. The Elkhorn understands that the newness element of our business will likely wear off after year 1. But with our convenient location, coupled with our assortment of new cookie and cookie dough options, we seek to establish ourselves as a lasting and sustainable brand in Helena. After all, we are the one and only cookie shop and stop in downtown Helena. In addition to our meeting space for businesses, the Elkhorn believes that its warm environment will attract the many high school and college students in this area. Having ample space in both the main level and basement, we hope that the students who come to relax and study will take part in our tasty treats. I mean, what student doesn't enjoy cookies, donuts, or coffee? Over time, we are confident that as they spend more time in our shop, they will tell their friends about the new and comfortable hangout place with affordable pricing to allow them to partake in our products without burning their pockets more than they already have. As you take a look at our sales forecast on the screen and our handout that we've given you, and the specific sales breakdown on the screen, you'll notice our emphasis is naturally on our cookie sales. Starting in year 1 and continuing each year, we project that our cookie sales, which is made up of our fresh baked cookies, our edible cookie dough, and our take and bake cookie dough, we project that 56% of our total revenue will come from our cookie sales. While our drink sales will be a secondary source of revenue, approximately 28% of our total revenue, this will also be a consistent source of revenue. Our drinks will be an excellent complement to our cookies, and our hope is that our variety of combinations will strike an appeal with every customer who walks through our door. As President Christensen stated at the beginning of our presentation, Orson Swett Martin said, "The golden rule for every business man is this: put yourself in the customer's place." We at the Elkhorn want to view ourselves through the customer's eye from day 1 and hope to leave a lasting impact on every single customer who walks through the door, whether it be the little guy who just finished his Little League game and wants a cookie, or the businessman who stops by our shop to pick up a box of cookies on his way to work. The Elkhorn seeks to deliver on its promise of valuing the customer, and we believe that we can do that. In year 1, we are operating a cookie 188. We are hoping to operate on 188 cookie sales in dollars per day. In the first quarter of operation, we understand that our daily sales will be much lower, but as the year moves along, that will gradually increase. Our hope is that in that year 5, we will be bringing in close to $1,800 alone in cookie sales. Everybody loves their cookies, and we want to offer all that we can to deliver an affordable cookie that keeps bringing them back to our shop. So venture capitalists, it is with great pleasure that we, on behalf of the Elkhorn's executive team, we would like to request from you a $300,000 initial investment in return for 25% of stake in our company, as well as you'll get to enjoy 25% return on your investment after year 5. Our executive team will also be putting forth $5,000 apiece, totaling $30,000 to assist in the initial startup costs that will go into the culmination of our opening day, September 21st, 2019. The Elkhorn is excited to begin renovations and start our exciting process on May 1st, 2019. Thank you, venture capitalists, for taking the time to hear our journey over the past few months. And now we would like to move to the part we've all been waiting for, to answer your questions.
Right. Mrs. Bell, do you have a question for these young people?
I do. I appreciate that you want to come in under the rest of the competition as far as price and value. Can you explain to me your pricing strategy for how you've actually priced your cookies? Or maybe your cookie dough. Can someone explain to me how you came up with those prices? Like, so what is the actual cost of making that product? Maybe start with a pint or a quart if you wish. And then what's your markup? And how did you come up with your actual cost then? Who's going to take that question?
I can take that one.
Okay,
So
thank you.
with the competitors that we were able to find prices with, we found that the cookies would roughly sell for about $3 a piece. So when we determined what it would cost to make a dozen cookies, we figured that per cookie it would cost roughly $1.50. So with the pricing that we determined, the markup would be about 50 cents on each cookie. And we figured, being that it would be affordable for only $2 instead of $3 to $3.50, we thought that it would allow us to get people to buy our cookies at a lower price than other cookie stores.
So you didn't actually like look at all the ingredients that went into what is the cost to make? You just kind of looked at what the cost.
Per dozen that we'd be making, yes.
Okay, so then let's go to the cookie dough, because it's not per cookie then. You've got a tub or a pint. So did you actually say what ingredients go into that? What is the cost of that product? What does it cost you to make that?
Yeah, so we didn't necessarily take into consideration all the ingredients that we took. We rather, there compared to what other people were selling, there's edible cookie dough for, and said we're going to go lower. So not necessarily the cost of making it.
So then how do you know that you're making a profit?
That's where we, for the edible cookie dough, that's something that we didn't fully take into account.
Can you explain to me why you have a quart for $7.50 and a gallon for $10?
Yeah, that's something that we decided for the quart and the gallon. Those are two things that we decided that we want them to order in advance to decide on. We wanted more so focus on the pint size. So for the pricing of that, we figured that a gallon of edible cookie dough is quite a lot. And that's where, for in considering the other stores that we saw, that was about the similar price that they went with.
How many cookies can you make from a gallon?
Wait a minute, I would never buy a pint for $5 when I could get a gallon for $10. Are you making any money off that?
That's where we were more so marketing toward the pint and quart than the gallon, but the gallon will give them more for what they get.
But I would never buy a pint because I could get a gallon.
And then you could turn around and sell them for $1 and make a lot of money.
So it sounds as though more research has to be done on actually your profit margin, because you can't tell us how much you're actually making per item sold. Would you agree? Okay, that's a little quite problematic. Can I ask a question about your value proposition on page 3? You indicate that customization is one of the elements of your value proposition. What do you mean by that? And who should I ask that of, Ms. Christensen?
I can take that one, actually.
I suppose you can take most of the questions we'll ask you, so I'll let you answer this one at this point.
So for the coffee side of it, those just of themselves are really easy to customize, because we have the general, I want a mocha, but you can come in and be like, well, I want my different kind of milk. I don't want as much flavoring. I could get extra flavoring. I can get a couple extra shots of espresso if I want, if I like it a little stronger. I could get less espresso if I don't want as much coffee. like like depending on what you add, it'll taste different, but like that's really customizable to what the customer wants. And generally, when customers order coffee drinks, that's typically what they do.
Sure.
The cookies, we want to be able to offer different varieties per day. One thing that we hope to add down the road is just like a little suggestion box, like what cookie do you like? What can we offer you that we know you want to eat? So cookies will be customizable to things that they like.
But is that futuristic? So if I walk into your shop right now and say, I would like half licorice, half oatmeal cookie, is that the sort of customization that's available to me, or right then and there, or is that something that I'd have to suggest to you and you'd think about offering it in the future?
We could probably offer it like right then and there.
If that's an ingredient you have.
Yeah.
I would hope you don't have licorice. I have other questions if the other faculty don't want to.
You can all take a deep breath now because the HR guy is going to answer the question. So how did you determine the rates for the different salaries and the different positions? I'm curious, the process.
So we looked at many other cafes and businesses that are similar to ours, and we asked them questions, and we provided similar salaries to that, and we went with what would make us the most profitable.
So some market data. Now I noticed that your baristas are all minimum wage folks.
Yes.
And your emphasis on customer service, the baristas do a lot, bringing the customer back, creating that customer experience. Minimum wage.
Yeah.
What's your plan for creating that ambiance that your organization says differentiates you?
Yeah, so to motivate our employees, we have a solid incentive program that we're planning to implement. And so the first off, we're going to hire the right individuals. And then the first year, we're going to give them $1 raise. And then we did some research and asked different cafes, and over 50% of people who purchase coffee actually tip. And so the baristas are going to pool that money together, and they're going to split up the tips evenly, so that'll motivate them. And then we're going to have employees of the month and give them a gift card, so the baristas will be able to, that'll be our incentive.
So kind of on that note, I had a kind of related question. Is the $1 raise reflected in your financial statements?
Yes.
Number one. And number two, could you explain how your head baker, you're offering a salary package that I think if I did the math right, would be about almost the same as the part-time bakers that are working half the time. Could you explain that one for me?
So the assistant bakers, they'll be working part-time. They'll be making less yearly, so than the head bakers. So the part-time are only
We'd
gonna be
expect a
making-
part-time to make less than a full-time.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they're only going to be working about 10 to 20 hours a week, and so their salaries, they're not going to be making nearly as much as the full-time baker.
But a 20 hour a week part-time baker is making almost the same as the full-time head baker. So I'm curious how you're going to motivate the head baker when he finds out that his people are working for him or making almost as much as he does.
Yeah. In year 3, the head baker's getting a significant raise, and then from then on, they'll get additional raises.
And that's true for all of you, right?
Yes.
So for the first 2 years, you're living at poverty level. Right, I'm trying to figure out, Mr. Campbell, how you're going to survive at $22,000 a year. If our average rents in Montana, Helena, is about $760 a month. Are you eating the coffee beans? I mean, I think the point I'm trying to raise here, and I think to Dr. Foster's point as well, is the salaries don't seem to make a lot of sense, and along with Mr. Oberholzer's, to motivate staff to provide that exemplary customer service that you're going to need to build these relationships. That's a key element of your portfolios. You're going to establish these relationships. Not certain how you can do it with the baristas, but certainly with the full-time staff if they're not paid well enough.
And on a related question as well, is there something that you all have as owners/managers that maybe some of your people like the bakers and the baristas don't have?
I'll let Ms. McDonald answers that.
Sure, I mean, because your salaries, as you look at them, I mean, actually, you guys are making more than they are. And that's, I suppose, okay, but what we're trying to get at is the equity of the fairness for the wages that you're making versus what you're putting into it. And so a baker is only gonna be making, what, $20,000 a year?
Roughly,
Yeah,
yes.
so again, on par with Mr. Campbell, but what's the difference between Mr. Campbell and the baker?
His role in our company.
Besides the fact that he probably can't bake and the baker can.
I don't know if he can or not. But no, his role is more of a general manager for the front end, so he's more supervising the baristas and the activities with the sales and the register. And then Jess and I are both gonna be full-time managers working at the shop as well. And then Brendan and Johnny are both gonna be full-time with the finance and marketing and also helping out as needed with the shop. So
So
Mm,
how do
that's-
those,
Trying
how
to
do those-
get-
how do those full-time people impact the customer experience? I think that's what I'm hearing being
I
asked.
think I could help answer that. So far as my role as a general manager that I'm going to take upon myself is, I'm personally going to invest in, the Elkhorn. I'm going to be there every day. My baristas might be getting paid minimum wage, and they might not be fully what we want, but I'm there to help encourage them personally. But I'm also there to encourage the customers. Be there, shake their hand, just see how they're doing, ask how their orders are, make sure they're satisfied, just to build that one-on-one personal relationship.
So you're gonna be the rover, kind of interviewing and checking in with the customers?
Yeah, we're really trying to focus on a customer environment, and just, making them comfortable, making them feel at home.
So I'm curious what each of you might do in that regard. That culture is an intentional process of building that customer service, shaping that. So in each of your roles, what do you bring? How do you do that? How do you contribute to that?
most of us do have experience with customer service previously in jobs. But also just the fact that this is our company, we do want it to do well, we're motivated by that fact.
So I'm hearing minimum wage employees, and I'm hearing we want to have great customer service, and I need to hear a little bit about strategy or an approach for how we create that, how do you foster that?
I wouldn't say they're necessarily minimum wage employees because they'll be making a few more dollars an hour just based off of those tips. And throughout when we hire them, we're going to make sure that the customers that we hire are going to do background checks, and we're going to ensure that they're wanting to participate in our business and wanting to do that they're just as involved in our business as we are, and they're going to want to they're going to be motivated and want our business to succeed.
So you all, as owners / managers, have an additional incentive. At the end of 5 years, you're gonna have something that your hourly and your salary employees don't have, right? Which is a stake in the business. So arguably, you could even get away with less of a salary than some of your other employees, right? Because you're gonna get financial reward they're not getting. First off, would you be willing to accept a cut in pay so we can get your bottom line to improve? And then secondly, is there anything else that maybe you've thought about that would be motivators or incentives for your employees that you haven't discussed?
Are you mentioning benefits or?
Right. Well, I noticed there were a couple things in your portfolio, and I'd kind of like to hear more about those.
As far as the benefit route goes, we determined that at the beginning in Montana, there's not as many required benefits for employees to have. So we went that route just to keep our costs down. However, we did come to recognize that maybe as you mentioned, on our end, ours are a little high, so maybe we would revisit the idea of taking a cut in helping them be more appreciated as far as bumping up their wage, possibly. But we thought, as the group of us, being involved in the tasks of every day, being involved around them, and just showing them how invested we are in the business, will hopefully go in turn with helping them see why they should stick around and why, in the long term, it makes sense for them to be around after year 3 and 4.
So you're gonna give them a cut in the business, is what you're saying?
That's not something we necessarily talked about.
All right. No, I was only being facetious, but you mentioned benefits. What do you mean by benefits?
So the one that we determined cost-wise was our workers' comp. But
Well, that's not a benefit. That's a mandatory item.
right, so other than that, there wasn't anything else that we included. It was, the thought in mind was to keep our costs down. But we would revisit the idea of offering healthcare and other things like
Okay,
that.
so healthcare is what we're talking about, all right?
Yes.
But that's just one of many benefits you can offer your employees. So again, you mentioned several in your portfolio. Maybe you forgot you wrote it, or maybe you didn't really mean it when you wrote it. But, or maybe it's a combination of the two, but I thought you mentioned something about points and perks and awards and gift cards and recognitions and things like that. Was that, or maybe I misunderstood
Yeah.
that?
That would be the elk points. So basically, an elk point, you know, like stated in there, elks have antlers and each, you know,
Yeah.
point is a point. And so.
You made your point.
I made my point. So basically, once our customers earn 12 elk points, they can either get a free coffee or 3 free cookies. So that's just in a sense of, and how they're gonna earn those is, you know, they register with their phone number or email. We can keep track of that in the Elkhorn. And, you know, once they get their 12 points, and we chose not to do a punch card because a lot of people, they lose their punch cards. And, you know, once they get 11 punches and they almost got their free cookies or a free drink, then they're out of luck. But, you know, since we keep track of that, they can come to us, we can see how many elk points they have, and that just keeps them coming back and showing them, you know, we value their business, and here's a little incentive to come back and purchase from us.
Is the cost of that tracking system included in your financials as well? Because that's not free.
Right, we, in our operations budget, we set aside money for our loyalty program, but after reviewing it more, we may not have set aside enough to determine more of along the lines of what.
Is the loyalty program administered through the point of sale system? And did you account for a point of sale system in here?
We did not.
Can you talk through the operations of, like, let's say an order comes in for a delivery for, you know, maybe a half hour away, and they want it in an hour and a half, okay? So can you walk through, like, who does what, how is that prepared, how long does that take? Who would like to answer that question?
So for our delivery system, we do have some criteria as to how far away we're gonna be delivering. So we are only doing the city limits, so it's a little over a 10-mile radius, I believe.
Okay, so let's say it's a
So-
big order, let's say it's $50.
If it's in the radius and it is over the
Mhm.
required price point, then either Jess or I would be the ones who are actually doing the delivery. If they wanna set up a time, that's fine. We will have the food ready at the shop by then, and then we will just take it out.
But Mrs. Fell's question was, you just got off the phone, or you just got off your app or email or whatever, and you had an order an hour and a half away?
Yes.
Right, okay. So in an
No,
hour
in a
and
half hour away, but they
Within-
want it delivered in an
Right.
hour and a half.
But so you get this order, kind of walk us through the process of who will do what from time of taking your order until it's delivered.
Okay, so whoever is monitoring either the website or the phone.
And who's that?
will let-
It's me.
Okay, you're the whoever, okay.
Well, could be one of the rest of us if he's busy. So he would give the order, or let us know about the order, and then also give it to, obviously, whoever's in the kitchen who needs to actually make the order, give them the time that it needs to be ready by. We can look at, see
And would
how
that,
far.
and would that be the baker?
Probably, yes, unless one of us needs to do it if they're too busy in the kitchen or something like that.
Okay.
So what's the productive capacity of the baker? I mean, how many cookies can you make an hour if you get in a sizable order?
They're able to prepare all the cookie and ingredients in advance, and they can
Okay.
freeze. And then it basically just depends upon how much our oven can hold.
How much can your oven hold?
I believe
It's several baking racks, and we do have 3 ovens as
How
well,
many is
so
several?
I believe 6.
How many cookies can you put in each rack?
Depending on the size, anywhere from, you know, the real big ones would be like 2 to, if you wanna do some real small ones, it's probably more like 16.
So are your cookies different sizes?
Well, we do have, monster cookies included in our
Yeah, but
menu, so
I
those are
thought
the
the
really big
menu had said
ones,
just
and then-
all this, the menu showed like all the same
They were all
prices
$1.74
for
price,
big cookies, small cookies. Well, that's another question, but
So
ahead.
I've got a question for Mr. Book. You've been quiet, so a couple things.
He's a sound
First
partner.
off, number one, why is there no change in sales from quarter 1 to quarter 2, and then you have a 100% increase going from quarter 2 to quarter 3? And then the other question is, what's going to get you there? Are you really relying on how much in-store traffic are you depending upon, or how much delivery traffic? You know, give us a better idea of that breakdown.
Basically, what we did was looked at our competitors like Starbucks and Scenic Brew and cookie dough shops and Edible Cookie, and we kind of see how much they sell per day, and then we kind of took those numbers and like minimized a little bit on our part. And for the growing, we discovered that according to Menu Trends, that cookie dough is seeing a 9% increase from year to year. And then I didn't get the percentage increase for coffee, but it seems like coffee is the most, it's the most drinkable.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying that cookie dough sales is increasing about 9% from year to year.
Yeah.
You're showing about an increase in revenue of 30% year over year. How do you get to 30% when you're only got an increase of 9%? There's got to be something more than just general rise in cookies.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I believe it was 20% increase year to year, about 20% in coffee, I believe, and then 10% or 9% in cookie dough. So we kind of combined both sources of revenue to where coffee's increasing by 20% and the cookie dough's increasing by 10%.
But what are you guys doing to get there? Not just general trends, but what are you doing to get there?
What we're doing is just exposing our brand more, using social media marketing, our website, and then trying to expose and advertise, promote our brand to try to get more people in. Hopefully when they come visit our shop that we get good word of mouth marketing where they like the taste of the cookie dough and they want to tell their friends and all that.
Yeah, to build off of Jonathan's point, we're hoping to get involved in the community, so we hope to sponsor a Little League team. We hope to host or be involved in local events that will hopefully get to show people that we are in the community now, and that we can show that people can come, and hopefully at those events we'll have taste testing for them to see what our products taste like, as well as just the opportunity to show people that we are there and that we do care about the community. So through that, increasing our sales, we've based it off of hopefully by the events that we host and the events that we're involved in, that will get more people in our store. And our sales are predominantly based off of our in-store sales. We recognized a little too late of our delivery and the possibility of that, so we took a rather conservative approach in the sense of basing our numbers solely on what we'd make in store. And so the delivery service, we didn't really tap into too much as far as revenue based.
I appreciate that answer. The question is, I don't know the size of population of Helena. Do you know the population of Helena?
It's
It varies a lot because there's,
Schools and things like
well,
that.
we have the schools, so people come and go, and then if you like Google it, it'll say like anywhere from 30 to like 60,000 because some of them track the city
So-
limits and everyone else does the outside.
So then that brings into question whether or not Helena can sustain 30% increase in sales year over year.
Mr. Monty, did you have a question?
Of all the sales, do you know what the market penetration would be for you? Of all of the sales amongst all of the competitors, what your market penetration would be?
So who else is selling in that area? And how much of a slice of pie are you going to get?
There's 14 other stores.
As far as our cookie and cookie dough things, there's no other shop that does that sort of thing. Like the donut ice cream side of that, there's really nothing as far as that goes. A couple, there's obviously the other coffee shops and stuff, but I feel like those would be our main competitors, and I believe there's 3 bakeries in town. So the coffee shops and the bakeries would be our competitors, but they don't offer what we do as far as our bakery.
So you don't have an estimate for how much you would get of that?
No, we don't.
So I'm curious on your marketing, because obviously the way to increase sales is to market effectively and well. Could you explain how your marketing plan fits with your 3 target markets? I understand you said one would be to sponsor a Little League team, but I'm kind of wondering how strong of a connection between your target market is and a Little League team, because I don't think your Little Leaguers are going to come be your primary customer.
Okay.
So kind of talk us through your 3 target markets and then how your marketing plan fits.
So our 3 target markets are business people, young adults, and government employees. So basically, we could say, target market is everybody, but we have to have it specific. So what we did there is who loves cookies? Is kids. Who has kids? Those business people, those business professionals, the young adults. And then, you know, we also included high schoolers and college students in our target market. But, you know, up and coming, who are going to have those kids the next 10 to 15 years or less is going to be those. So since kids love cookies, you know, and we're going to be involved with their, you know, volunteering at our little league teams, you know, we're getting our target market of, you know, the business people, the ones that have those families. So in reality, you know, we have the three big ones, but, you know, it kind of funnels down to, you know, a family aspect. You know, bring your kids to on the Sunday afternoon to the Elkhorn. You know, kids love cookies. You know, adults, it's going to be more of a splurge. It's going to be, you know, something else. But, you know, a lot of people don't follow through on their diets. You know, they see the Elkhorn, they know the Elkhorn's there. You know, they've had our cookies once before, and they remember what they taste like. So they're going to come back just for that, and, you know, they're going to bring their kids, you know. And just our presence there at the Little League is just going to help, you know, promote our business further in the family aspect.
Which one of your three target markets do you think is going to be the biggest?
Biggest is probably young adults.
Okay, and where are the young adults when it's Little League time?
They're probably, you know, could be volunteering from the college, because we have Carroll College is right down the road from us, and the high school is close too. So when Little League comes around, you know, they might be volunteering there. You know, that might not be the most effective way to reach them there, but that's why we're also focusing in on our social media aspects.
Yeah, so tell me more about social media. I've seen that term thrown out several times, but I never saw anything beyond social media. Explain what
Basically,
exactly you're doing.
What we're doing is the pop-up ads is basically you set, you put a standard price of how much you want to spend on a budget, and basically it's a bidding war to see how much you can spend to get your social media ad that pops up when you're scrolling down. And we're going to be doing that, and along your 3 through 5, I believe, we're going to spend more money on our profile to get it more exposed to people around.
So why are we waiting till year 3 to do all that?
We're not. We're like continuing to do it, but we're just spending like even more money once we break even.
So pay-per-click is one option. So is that reflected in your financials in the marketing?
Yeah, that'd be fall under social media marketing. And in addition to that, we also, once we establish our social media pages and our website gets going and starts getting hits, we'll also use our social media platform to boost our posts, to get more people to see it, and to get hopefully people from there will share it and just comment, and it will come across the social media platforms much more.
What are the hours of operation?
7 to 9, Monday through Friday,
7
or
a.m.
Saturday.
to 9 p.m. Okay.
And then Sundays, 8 to 8.
Okay.
So, do you,
I just have one other question. What's the shelf life of the product, in essence, the cookie dough?
So that we can actually, it doesn't need to be sold right away as long as we keep it cold. So I believe it is about a week to 2 weeks for the edible cookie dough, and then for the cookie dough with eggs, that would be closer to a week. But then we do have the coolers that they'll always be in, so they have a decent shelf life at the store. And then when people are placing orders for it, obviously we can make it as we need it.
And how about the actual cookies that you bake in the store? What's the shelf life of those?
Those are about 2 days.
2 days. So conceivably, a cookie could be made today and sold tomorrow.
question about the hours of operations. If I'm guessing competitors, do you know what the hours of your competitors are?
Most of them range from like 6 in the morning to about 9 at night.
So if you're targeting, let's say, school and or government professionals and other business professionals, why opening so late? I'm thinking if I'm on my way in and it's my day to get coffee, I won't be able to stop by your place because you're closed at 7.
We're open at 7.
Or,
Open
well,
at
you're,
7,
you're
but
open.
to be
Yeah,
closed,
you're
yeah.
open at 7, but I can't stop by at, let's say, 6. Sometimes. And in the military, you get in at dark 30, right? So are you a little concerned that you may miss out on that portion of the population? Why not 6 o'clock?
I think with that, we're more so, we understand that in the morning we may miss out on people heading to work for the coffee and donut aspect of it, but as the cookie shop, we realize that most people in the morning aren't going to want a cookie. So that's where we're going to focus more of our attention to our target market of the young adults in the afternoons after work, on their way home from work, stopping by to pick up cookies, college students, high schoolers coming to hang out in that area. So that way where the cookie sales become more of a viable option.
But two of your business your segments are business professionals and government employees. So they're on their way to work, and you just said that they're not gonna be interested in a cookie in the morning. Maybe a donut, but what if, okay, gluten-free cookie, okay, it's not really health conscious though, it still has lots of sugar and other stuff in it. What other options do you have for, have you thought about other options for breakfast? If these are your key segments, what about some nutritious offerings, even oatmeal or something, I don't know.
Oatmeal
that would be-
cookies.
Yeah.
Bacon cookies.
Okay, why not offer some healthy options for a real breakfast, not a donut?
And if they come in the morning and get a coffee and something, they'll notice you have cookies, and then maybe they'll come by later on in the day to pick up cookies.
Can you address that?
Yeah, we thought about adding like muffins and scones, and based on how we did our menu, we probably will add that just because we realize that it is an important thing to have for breakfast, and obviously, yeah, no one's gonna want donuts every time they come in for breakfast, so we will definitely look into adding that to the menu.
Can I ask a question regarding hours? I noticed that in your business plan, you had mentioned that the baker and the barista would be coming in 1 hour before opening to get things ready to go. Could you kind of tell me how long it takes for the preparation of cookies and donuts?
A lot of those preparations, pretty much all of them, can be done the night before, the day before, and just freezed. So they would just be coming in an hour before to, flip on the lights and heat up the ovens, preheat everything, and just get everything ready to go. Nothing really needs to be prepared as far as food goes.
So how is a donut made?
Well, we have all the ingredients. Yeah, fryer.
In the donut fryer.
Okay, in a donut fryer, right. What happens before it gets to the donut fryer?
We make it.
We mix the ingredients together,
You mix the ingredients together.
and it's shaped into whatever shape it is, like depending on the type of donut, so it'll
Okay.
either be a long or like a circle.
Okay.
And then it's, stuck in the fryer. It
Well,
comes
there's
out.
something happens between there. And if you're, so you're saying, Mr. Butel, that you actually make the dough the night before and leave it sitting there, and then the baker
No,
comes in
they
the morning and
freeze
just.
it.
That's for primarily the cookies.
Well, I'm thinking donuts, because donuts are best when they're kind of they're not day old. So fresh donuts are good. So the baker comes in the morning and makes the donuts by taking the stuff out of the freezer or fridge.
The donuts would be the exception to that.
Okay, so, all right, so I'm trying to understand, if I'm coming in at 7 o'clock, I would like to have a fresh donut along with my coffee, as I'm gazing at your cookies. So how does that happen if the baker gets there an hour beforehand?
Is the baker able to make donuts between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock is the question.
So we would have, one of us would be here, and they would be the ones flipping on everything, getting everything ready, and the baker would be the one that was preparing the donuts and getting them.
So is it possible
Yes.
to unlock a door at 6 o'clock and have a fresh donut done
Yes.
by 7 o'clock? That's the question.
But have to go,
No.
capacity question of how many donuts you could do.
Right,
Well, the
right.
next question
That
is
was
gonna
the
be
next
how many
question.
dozen can you have?
But the answer is no, it cannot happen.
Yeah, those
Each
bakers
donut
will
has
have
to
a
be
whole
cut,
lot
it
of
has to rise, it takes time for it to rise. And I don't see a proof box, which would be a different question still. but-
Ms. Christensen, I've got to ask you one of the critical questions, page 23 of your document. Your statement is, in the event the Elkhorn fails to meet its profitability expectation, the management team will evaluate our options to sell the business.
Is that your only
So
option?
Is that your sole option if you don't hit your sales goals and your profitability goals? Is that your intention?
No, that's more a last resort thing. Before we get to that point though, we would have to review our current standings, figure out our weaknesses and our strong points, and then determine how we would correct those weaknesses, and whether that means we do something with our menu as far as like changing products or adding or like taking out things. That would be the first step before then. That's just a last resort option.
That's good.
So, let me ask, who are the critical people that, sort of along this lines? Let's also pretend that you may have to let people go, okay? You're not paying anybody a lot, so it won't be that big of a contribution. But if you have to downsize, who are the people you must absolutely positively keep in order for this operation to work?
As far as the lower employees, we would definitely have to keep a baker and several of the baristas in order. The first people would probably be the part-time bakers, and then several of the baristas, but obviously we need people to work the bar and then be back in the kitchen doing what they're supposed to do. If we ever had to let part of the teammates go, sorry guys, but the first one probably to go be Austin, and then Logan.
Your manager and your marketer. One final
Blow your
question.
nose in there.
You were asking us for 10 times the amount of money that you're willing to put into this, 300 versus 30. You're only giving us a 25% share of the business. Is that fair? How do you explain that?
Yeah, so with that, we understand that it's kind of low, and what we came to the realization is because of the way our sales forecast is looking, we wouldn't be able to make a profit until year 4. So once we get to year 5, we recognize that our profit margin still isn't great, but by giving you that and expanding into the further years, we want to give you more as the years go by, but we also want to make sure that we're established well enough to make sure we're making profit to give you guys something, as well as make sure we have enough to give our employees.
Okay, we need to really retire.
Yeah, Professor Board, time is up.
Is time up?
It is up.
I was waiting for
It
the
is
bell.
time.
All right, let's
Yeah,
give
it
them a
didn't
hand.
happen.
Ladies and gentlemen,